Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys slept well last night and you're ready for a brand new day. Let me get myself situated here. Let me make sure that we're on the same proverbial page. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys are going to start hopping on here. I know I'm late. I know. I'm just going to check my monitor here. The last thing I want, the last thing you want is a, it's a video that's either blurry, not clear, or something else. We're going to work this thing out. Guys, side note, last couple of days I've been watching this film on Netflix. Freaked me out. Goodness. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with the world now? I mean, they're making the craziest movies. I've been watching this show on Netflix called The Watcher. Have you guys seen that? OMG. Goodness gracious alive. Okay, here we are. I think it's clear. What do you think? Is it clear? As I was saying, last few days I've been watching this film on Netflix called The Watcher. The craziest film you've ever seen. And it's in episodes. And this is the thing about these episodes is that, once you're done with one, you can't wait to see the next one. But this film, Watches, not watches, Watcher, The Watcher, it's called, The Watcher. Freaked me out. Goodness. All right. Anyway, a few shout outs to you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anita Grace. Hello, Anita Grace. So Anita Grace says, you don't keep time. Anita Grace, honey, if I were to sit here and tell you the story of my life, you would sing me a lullaby. Anita, and I can hear Anita Grace saying, Simon, those excuses. We're not interested in excuses. Remember the scene in the film The Sentinel? I think the Kiefer Sutherland, he was in that with the lady that did The Desperate Housewives. I think she was in there. The very first scene in the film is where Kiefer Sutherland is waiting for this agent. The agent shows up a minute late, and he turns around and says, you're late. And she says, it's a minute past 12. And he says, yeah, you're late. So I know, I'm late. I know. Yes, you are late. I know it. I know. Oh, this is who's this? This Harris says, oh boy, here we go again. Well, hey guys, listen, thank you so much. Wherever you're watching me from, it doesn't matter if you're watching me from Cape Town, South Africa, the Maldives, Belize, Haiti, the failed state of Haiti. Do you know that they kidnap people in Haiti like you and I would go buy ice cream? Did you know this? Kidnapping in Haiti is like putting on your shoe and not caring. So if you're watching from Haiti, hello to you. Bless you. Guys, very quickly, I just want to mention something to you here, and this is mainly for the Zambian audience, but I'll give you a bit of background so that you guys are in the loop and so that you understand what I'm talking about, so that you and I are on the same page. Let's begin. Here it is. Did I write it down? Oh my goodness, I didn't. Before I get to the main topic, let me discuss Fred Membe and Mr. Sean Tembo for a moment, okay? Fred Membe, for those of you that may not know, Fred is a Zambian citizen that he used to run and own one of the biggest independent newspapers in the whole country. This was during the MMD. The Post has been accredited with being partly responsible for ushering in a new dispensation from Dr. Kenneth Kaunda's administration or regime to Frederick Chiluba's regime, our second president, Frederick Chiluba. Well, Mr. Fred Membe ran a publication. Of course, this was before the internet. This was before Facebook. This was before social media. But in those days, in the 90s, the Post newspaper, which was run by Fred Membe, was the most powerful independent voice in the country. And for many years, he enjoyed that position. But of course, being a vociferous component in a pool of democracy, oftentimes people gun for you. And not, Fred used to have knock-ins with the government because he would speak his mind. He would often say things that the average Zambian couldn't say. Only because not only was Fred Membe very articulate in expressing himself, but he had a huge platform from which to express himself. And so he had a very wide audience. Now, over the years, things change. Technology changes, the advent of the internet, social media, things changed. In addition to that, our sixth president, President Lungu, closed down Fred Membe's newspaper. They accused Fred Membe of owing taxes, but we all know the drill. If you speak against the government and you have one blemish, they come after you like a rabid animal, boy. They come after you. And so they closed Fred Membe's publication down because they accused him of, evading tax and all that. But the real reason, the underlining reason, was because, Fred Membe was very critical of the government. And President Lungu and his homeboys, they didn't like that very much. So they shut him down. Now, Fred came back and he sort of reinvented himself, and he announced that he wanted to now vie for the position of president. But this is the problem I have with Fred. Fred is standing on the platform of socialism. His party, he heads a party called the Socialist Party. And by the name of the party, just from the name of the party, judging from the name of the party and the colors that the party has, the tenets of the Socialist Party are of socialism. This is the problem I had with Fred. Fred is a capitalist, but he touts a socialist agenda. That doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, just start there. Start from the fact that Fred Membe is a capitalist. He is the quintessential, authentic image and personification of a capitalist. If there ever was a capitalist, Fred Membe would be it. But here it is, he turns around and says, well, I'm running a socialist agenda. It's a dichotomy. It's a juxtaposition. It's an oxymoron. It doesn't gel. And you know the old saying, if it doesn't gel, then it's not jello. Have you heard this? If it doesn't gel, then it's not jello. And then the last thing, I'll say the last thing about Fred. I don't like the fact that, every time Fred speaks, have you heard Fred talking at a rally? The most angry man in politics I have ever seen. Every time he talks, he's furious. He's angry. He is livid. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but Simon, you do the same thing. Yeah, but I'm not a politician. Therein lies the difference, y'all. Okay? Just make sure my monitor's clear here before I continue. Sorry for the pause. All right, we're good. So, and that's the thing I don't like about his persona is that he's so angry when he's addressing a rally, a socialist rally. He's just so angry, so upset, And I think there's a reason for that. So this morning, as I'm scrolling through the wormhole, I'm coming to work, and I see a post by Fred in reference to UPND's recent victory. Fred Membe says the honeymoon is over for the UPND. reality is going to set in very quickly. Guys, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. Of course, the honeymoon is over. Of course, the nostalgia is over. Of course, the euphoria is over. The Zambian people want to see tangible results. And I believe that this administration is doing everything within its power to achieve those results. Remember, development has no destination. And that's a quote, that's a direct quote from former President Edgar Lungu. He once said that famously. He said at a rally, at a PF rally, he said that every president does his bit. Every administration does his bit. The key is to leave the country better than what you found. Woo, boy, that's good. That's good right there. The key is to leave the country better than what you found. So when Fred Membe says the honeymoon is over, he's right. It is over. Let's get to work. Now, if all, and I say this to all of these opposition leaders, if all you're thinking about is 2026, every time you wake up, every waking moment in your human existence as an opposition leader, if all you think about is 2026, honey, you're going to live a miserable life. Live your life now. Provide proper, accurate, authentic checks and balances, but live your life. Live your life. Don't be preoccupied with bringing down a government. The time for that will come. The time for that will arrive. When we get to the end of this administration's tenure, as you know, constitutionally speaking, every president can serve up to a maximum of 2 terms, which is a total of 10 years. After the first term of the UPND, if the Zambian people feel that we should give Hakainde Hichilema and his administration another mandate, guess who decides that? It's not Andrew Ejimadu. It's not any Nigerian false fake prophet. It's not some abstract human being standing on a mountain somewhere. It's you and I. You and I decide. You and I chart the course of this nation. You and I put people in office. So at the end of this term, you and I will decide that. We will. But when that time comes, that time comes. So I find that it's a bit disingenuous for Fred to say what he's saying when he says the honeymoon is over. You're preaching to the choir, Fred. We know that. Goodness, Fred. And here's the other thing. I think that one of the reasons Fred is so upset is because he no longer wields, you know the word wield? Okay, I'm going to teach you guys something. Imagine a sword, okay? It's not a swedge, it's a sword. You know the long metal, the long sharp piece of metal? That's called a sword. So when you're doing this, you're wielding it, wielding. The reason I believe Fred Membe is very upset is because he no longer wields the power he once had. Times have changed. You know, there's a time Fred Membe's posts. Fred Membe ngatialembe article. Ichalo chale tenka. Mulangala. Ngatialembe idia editorial. Idia mu post newspaper. If he just begins to write, batutuma okututuma abamu MMD abati Fred at Aimi Antoine Pen alambo kulemba. Finshi alalemba. There was a time Fred had that type of power. Well, things have changed. Fred no longer has that type of power. He doesn't. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's upset. So here's the thing, Fred. Do your thing, but don't preach to the choir, because we know the honeymoon is over. We know the UPND has to get to work. We know they have to deliver. We know that, and we believe that they are doing that in part. They will never deliver everything. Never. No administration ever delivers anything. Everything. Let me say that again, because that was a slip of the tongue. No administration ever delivers everything. But if you leave the country better than what you found, you've done well. Woo, boy, that's a good one there, boy. Stick that one in your pipe and smoke it. Okay. Secondly, this guy, Tembo is trying to shinga bata on you. Do you know what it means to shinga? The word shinga, it's my language. It means smear. It means smear, okay? Smear. In English, this would be, he's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Meaning he's trying to trick you. He's trying to deceive you. All of you know I've been on a campaign to ask Tembo to answer the question, why did he defraud the government of Botswana? Guess what he does? First of all, he avoids the question altogether. And then finally, yesterday, he posts the front page of a judgment that shows that he was the complainant. He sued a certain professor, but he neglected to tell you that he lost that lawsuit. He sued the professor for defamation. Here's the story. Let me capsulate the story for you. Basically, this is what happened. Tembo was paid to do some work by the Ministry of Health in Botswana. He did some work for them, submitted, he got paid. A famous renowned professor in Botswana whistleblowed and cited Tembo for forgery. Basically, what the professor said was that this work that Tembo has done, he's plagiarized it. He's forged it. So in an effort to cover his tracks, Tembo turned around and sued the professor, the renowned Botswanan professor, for defamation. And guess what? Tembo lost that case. And when the judge gave the judgment, the judge even recommended that Tembo be sued, because the judge declared that Tembo plagiarized, therefore he lost this case. Tembo turns around, flees Botswana, leaves a family behind, then comes to Zambia. And then he announces he wants to be president, leaving behind a scandalous record of financial, not only financial mismanagement, because that's what it is. You know, when you plagiarized and you get paid for something you didn't do, you fraudulently obtain money. That's fraud. Then he comes to Zambia and announces that he wants to be president. All I've been saying is that a person with that past should not be on the ballot. That's all I've been saying. But Sean deflects attention by posting pictures and nonsense. Deal with the issue. Deal with the issue. Okay? So, and we're ready for Sean. I mean, Sean can talk about anything he wants to, but as long as he doesn't answer the question, why did he defraud the government of Botswana? We will never stop asking that question. The reason is people that put their names forward for leadership, especially higher office, should be held accountable, should be asked tough questions. And if they have a past that indicates that they obtained money fraudulently from a foreign government, that should be cause for concern. That's all we've been saying. That's all we've been saying. So don't be deceived when Sean posts the cover of the judgment and says, well, I need to know the difference between a plaintiff and a defendant. We know the difference, heck. We know that you sued for defamation because you were trying to cover your case, but you lost the case. When you lost the case of defamation, you turned around and you absconded, you left behind a family there in Botswana. You came to Zambia to begin a new life. You lost that case. What's difficult? And Sean understands. He knows. He knows that most of you Zambians, he knows the Mwaberenge. He knows Mwala Berenga Feri ila in Kavaidia. He knows Mwala Ipsha Feri in question. No, Mwewa needs to know the difference between defendant and plaintiff. He knows that's all you will say. That's all you will investigate. He knows that most of you are not going to investigate further. He knows that. He knows. You Sean Tembo supporters, all of it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter how much you support Sean Tembo on Facebook. When it comes to the ballot, you always give him zeros. Isn't that sad? I think that's sad that you, Sean Tembo keyboard warriors, you support him on Facebook. But when it comes time for the ballot paper, you give him zeros. You're ghosts, most of you. You're apparitions is what you are. You're nothing but keyboard warriors. Boom. There. All right. I want to talk to you guys about celebrities that apologize on Facebook. Guys, it's very simple. Let me bring you up to speed. Yo Maps ran into a bit of trouble with his audience, Yo Maps and his wife. There was a bit of bragging, a bit of showboating, I'm worth 30,000. And for some reason, people didn't seem to warm up to Kiddist as they should have. But on top of that, there was this idea that, Yo Maps and his wife were bragging too much. Well, the audience didn't like that very much. What they should have done there and then, if they felt that they did wrong, which in my view, I think they did. The bragging, nobody likes, guys, let me tell you, people love to bring down people that brag. People love to do that. That's why it's important to display a level of humility. Humility. That's not difficult to do, to show a bit of humility. Don't brag. I've got this. This is me. Don't do that. People love to pull you down when you do that. So whenever this thing happened where they were bragging, the audience decided to punish Yo Maps by awarding Chile 1 all these awards. Now, let's be clear. Chile 1, and this is the truth, and I know this on good authority because I asked the people around here. Chile 1 is good, but he's not better than Yo Maps. He's just not. Reason is the catalog of work that Yo Maps has produced far outshines Chile 1. I mean, you could sit in apparently they say you can sit in a nightclub for 3.5, 4 hours and they're just playing Yo Map songs. But you can't do the same with Chile 1. With Chile 1, but he's beginning, he's starting out. So the public punished Yo Maps by giving Chile 1 all of these awards. In a sense, it was a protest vote, which is a fake vote, to be honest with you. It's a fake vote. I mean, if you're giving someone something because you're upset with someone else, that's not authentic at all. So anyway, Yo Maps and Kiddist, they never apologized for that. They just went quiet. Kiddist sort of, faded away. She doesn't come on Facebook as much. She's there every once in a while, but she's not so much there, Yo Maps went on a campaign to show his audience that he's still loved. He was walking through malls and showing people that he's loved, which he is. I mean, Yo Maps is genuinely loved. He is. But he made a mistake when he didn't apologize then. This is the big faux pas. The big mistake is that now that he's up for bigger awards, now he's apologized. Now he said, guys, I'm asking you to forgive me. I'm sorry for what I did, but this is a big award, so I need your help. That's not an apology. Understand that. That's manipulation. Whenever you say to someone, it's like saying to someone, oh, you're so beautiful. By the way, I'm going to attend transport. You're complimenting someone in order to get something back. Are you hearing that? Are you hearing this? You guys. Yeah, it's important to be humble. Yeah. So it's not right to apologize and then attach something else to it. I'm sorry for what I did, but could you give me a vote? You're so beautiful. Oh, that's a lovely dress. Now I'm going to go ten kwacha. Yeah, kwendera. I hear that all the time. There are people that do that. You know, they walk up. Do you know people that do that? They walk up to you, they compliment you, they tell, oh, yeah. And then at the end of it, they say, oh, by the way, yeah. And in Zambia, we do this. You know, the moment you see someone touch their hair, they're about to ask for money. Yeah. So, pano, visual, bah. But in Sapato Shomufuere, very nice. I'm going to cook a 10 kwacha. Manipulation, and it's not right. Here's the way to apologize. When you, guys, first things first, you only apologize when you feel remorse, when you genuinely feel, you know what, apa nadirufianya, naribembuka, nadirufianya, keni, nalalombo bwedelo. You only apologize when you truly feel remorseful. If you're not remorseful, your apology will come across as very fake. And number two, never apologize because people are forcing you or pressuring you to. You only apologize when you truly know that or truly feel convicted and you know that you made a mistake. And then once you do decide that, make it a dedicated video. Sit in front of a camera. Don't wear shades because people want to see your eyes. Look in the camera, address the issue. This is what happened, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Full stop. Don't create excuses. Don't blame it on the alcohol. Don't blame it on, oh no, the moment you begin to shift the responsibility off onto others or off onto something else, you're not taking ownership. Take ownership, take responsibility. Say, I did this. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Full stop. End of story. That's an authentic apology. Okay? All righty. Thanks for watching. Bye.